I'm going to show you how to make water kefir, and make sure you stay to the end of the video because I'm going to show you the things that I changed to make my water kefir turn out really good. Okay, so here's my batch of kefir, water kefir, that it has been fermenting for about 36 hours or so. 48 hours is generally recommended, but because our weather's really hot here at the moment, we're sitting at around 30 degrees every day. It's probably just fermenting a little bit faster. I did taste it this morning and it's got a very slight bit of sweetness there still. I've made this one a little bit different. So I used to make water kefir a few years ago in Australia, and I actually used to make it with honey, even though that's not recommended. Raw honey was cheap and easy to get in Queensland where we were living from local beekeepers, and so I used to make it and it tasted great and it worked really well. The grains didn't multiply the way they do in sugar, the same, but it was good. They didn't die, so yeah, even though it's not recommended, it seemed to work at the time. But honey is a little bit more expensive here in New Zealand, so I'm making it with sugar the recommended way. Now I've been making it with white sugar and a little bit of coconut sugar, but I'm finding that it's not getting really fizzy when I bottle it, even though I've been doing a second ferment with some berries or fruit. So in this batch I've changed it up a little bit. I've used raw sugar and a little bit of coconut sugar and some molasses. So I think I put too much molasses in. I put a tablespoon in, and apparently the high mineral content the grains may not like, but it seems to be fermenting absolutely brilliantly. So I don't know whether you can see, probably can't see, but it's really lots of bubbles and that coming up, and the grains are floating around quite nicely. So I thought I would do a secondary ferment, so that's what I'm going to do today before I go to work. So what we do is we just drain these. This is what I do. So I've got a couple of clean jars here. They've still got bits of their labels on, but they are clean jars. Pour that into here, and I'm making a mess all over the bench, and that's okay. This batch smells really good with that molasses in it. It's got a really nice smell, so that's a bit different from my other batches as well. Because these grains had actually had a rest in the fridge for a few days as we were away, so I wanted to get them active again. So that was one of the reasons I put the molasses in too. Because the grains need some mineral content, but not too much. If you give them too much, then they don't like that either. So they're a wee bit fussy, but not too fussy, and probably not as fussy as people make them out to be. Oh, this jug is not pouring very well. Maybe it's me. Okay, just a little bit more. So I'm going to make two different lots, so that's why I've got two separate jars there. And all of it won't fit in one jar, I don't think. So those grains are actually looking pretty good. They've multiplied nicely, so I think I put 2.5 tablespoons of grains into this. Okay, so now we've got our strained kefir in here, and so into one of these I've got some frozen cherries here, and I'm going to put some frozen cherries into that one. So just a handful or so. I haven't tried cherries yet. I have tried frozen berries, raspberries, blueberries, boysenberries, those sorts of things. So that's just a handful of berries in, cherries in there. And then into the other one, I'm actually going to put the juice of a lemon. So this is a nice organic lemon off of our tree. As you can see, you don't find them like that in the shops. That's actually been washed. These are old lemons from last year. But that's the wonderful thing about lemon trees, is if you leave them, the fruit, you just pick the fruit as you need it. So many people clean their trees off, and I don't understand why. They clean them all off thinking that they're going to fruit more. They don't. In my experience, they don't. So we just use our lemons as we use them, and so we use a lot of lemons. Luckily we have a great tree here that produces really well, but then we just leave the lemons on the tree, and it still fruits and still flowers, so it's got all the new fruit coming on it now, but it's still got lemons from last year, so it means we don't have to buy any through the year usually. So I'm just going to juice this. Don't laugh at my citrus juicer, it's on its last legs, but it's a really good one. So I do have another one somewhere, but I like this one better, so I still use this one. So I'm going to juice this. So you could use a half a lemon or a lemon. I'm going to try not to get those seeds in there. So this is going into the other batch. You can put whatever fruit you want in there. I've also got a couple of seeds in there, I think. Some people put bananas, mango, all sorts of things, pineapple. And now I'm going to make my next batch. So these lemon skins, put them over here. Alright, so in here I have some water. So I do this jar holds about a litre of water. So I'm going to add to that. So what I've been doing is I've been using coconut sugar for the minerals, but instead I'm going to use, so you can't use too much coconut sugar, you can't use too much molasses, but you need to use something to provide extra minerals, apparently. So I'm using raw sugar, so I'm going to do 1/4 cup of raw sugar. And I'm going to do not a tablespoon of molasses this time. I'll do about a teaspoon molasses. Oops, yeah, it's runny. Couldn't find organic molasses yesterday when I was looking, but I will endeavour to find some. The joys of living in a small town in New Zealand, it's a little bit hard to get things sometimes. Just mix that up a little bit. I don't usually worry too much about mixing the sugar up because the Kefir grains manage to do a pretty good job of that as they're fermenting, so just get rid of that one. And so some people put a pinch of Himalayan salt in, some people put a little bit of baking soda in, some people put eggshells in, and I've tried all of those things for the extra minerals, but this is why I'm putting the molasses in. So I'm going to keep it simple like that, and into that I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of my Kefir grain. Kefir grains. I've got the wrong name again there. Just a little bit more. And that is pretty much it. I'm just going to add some more water. So the water's pouring perfectly. I must have been doing it too fast before. And that is it. As simple as that. So pop this. I'll just use this is just a nut bag, so I just put that over the top because I don't have lids for these jars anymore. They rusted out after making sauerkraut in them for a period of months from the salt. So nut bags work really well because they just help to keep the bugs and that out. So that's it. I will add onto this video a little bit later once I bottle these, and we'll see how they go. Okay, so that's how I make my fizzy water kefir. The things that I changed to make it fizzy, because it wasn't turning out fizzy before. Number 1, I switched from white sugar to raw sugar. Number 2, I started using molasses instead of coconut sugar. Number 3, I fermented for a shorter period of time. So because our weather had been so hot and we are up over 30 degrees most days, I took my fermentation back from 48 hours back to 36 hours. And if, like today, I actually ended up fermenting it for about 48 hours, and there was no sweetness left. So what I do is I taste it, and if there's what I've found is if there's a very slight hint of sweetness in there, then that's the right time. And if that sweetness is gone, what I did today, and I'm hoping that it works okay, I've just put a pinch of sugar into each of the jars as I was doing my secondary ferment, just to add a little bit more sugar in there besides the fruit, okay? Number 4 is to do a secondary ferment with fruit, okay? That's one of the keys to getting a fizzy kefir, plus you get to add some other flavour into it. And then do your secondary ferment and leave it for about 10 to 12 hours, all right? 8 to 12 hours, depending on the temperature, okay? And then when you bottle it, screw your bottles up really tight and leave them on the bench for, I leave them overnight, or, you know, for a few hours, just to ferment some more and build up a bit of pressure in the bottle. I release a little bit of pressure and just check that they're really gassy, and then tighten them back up again and put them in the fridge after that time. Now, if you're interested in learning how to make other ferments, you can check out my video here on how to make fermented green papaya. And another video I've done recently is this one on how to make your own sauerkraut. Super simple. Fermenting is so easy. So if you like this video and you would like to see more, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell to receive notifications of future videos. And if you are on Facebook or Instagram, you can find me there at Sue'sOnStarch. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you another day. Bye.